So, okay, let's start with the incident report. Who is Jacob Bellington? And this is part of the dive. This is part of the dive into. Have you covered the Ronnie O'Neill guilty charge? Yes, but I didn't cover the sentencing hearing yet, which we may do at some point. The women's gymnastics team refused to walk with USA at the opening ceremony as a protest for BLM. Oh, well, fuck them. Then I change everything. I don't care then. No, we covered the hearing where Ronnie O'Neill was not sentenced to death, but we did not cover the hearing where he was given his actual sentence. I blacked out the document. I redacted it. I redacted addresses, phone numbers, and birthdays, and the names of the children. The children. So that's because again, you know the children's names: Sophie, Jake, and Luke. There's also a fourth child, which is the child of Jake Bellington. I don't remember that kid's name. It's a 10-month-old kid at the time of this incident, and that stuff's not important. This is not about them. This is about Jake. So one of the issues that Michael has raised in his filings is the danger that Jake Bellington appears to pose to the children and to Kelly. Now, what's interesting to me is there's this idea about domestic abuse and domestic abusers. And the idea is that domestic abuse victims, I feel like I'm so low in the frame here. I'm rising up. I'm ascending like Jesus of the stream. Okay. Domestic abusers have a hold over their victims. Sometimes it's a physical hold, like a chokehold. That's a joke about domestic abuse to try and lighten the situation. I literally hate domestic abusers with every fiber of my being. I cannot imagine employing violence in a trusted relate, like, not my thing. So the joke is for levity, for me to keep from calling for like jihad. Okay. So deal with it. If you have a problem with jokes, then literally just leave. Okay. So sometimes they have them in a physical, like a chokehold. Other times, but the hold they're talking about is where the victim is afraid to leave. And the victim will then enable, empower, and justify the abuse that they're facing. They will do it. They will say, no, one of my favorites is one of my buddies in college. He's talking to a girl, and, the girl's got some bruises or whatever. And he's like, your boyfriend did that? And she's like, well, yeah. He's like, well, why are you with him? And she says, well, when he's not drunk or on cocaine or hitting me, he's actually really nice. Great. Nailed it. Winner. You got it. Okay. So, but they end up enabling the damage and violence that's done to them, which is frustrating. Which is very, very frustrating. And so let's just take a look at the incident report. So here it is. This is a CPS referral. Incident report in Frisco, Texas. This happened. So people may actually, this is not like a new document, okay? I'm not claiming it's new. This happened on December 27th, 2019. All right? So the suspect is Jacob Bellington. The reporting party is actually Amber Shemesh. Then we've got the alleged victims. These are the children, Jacob Bellington's child, and then the Long children. And then we've got Kelly Long is the other involved party. All right? So, Kelly Long did not report this. Whoever Amber Shemesh is did. I don't know who that is. Don't really care. Here's the narrative from the officer. So we're going to read this first, and then we will move over to the disposition of the incident report, and we're going to talk about what and why this is, how this comes to be. Random 11, I have new documents. This one isn't a new document. Okay, so the victim, Sophie, resides with sibling victim Jake, sibling victim Luke, and sibling victim whoever Bellington, the 10-month-old. And the mother, Kelly Long, and Kelly's boyfriend/suspect, Jake Bellington. That's if you've got quotes in your name, like you're a professional wrestler or whatever, you don't want to be like Jake Bellington. You want to have a cool air quote name, like a quote name. You're going to be like, Jacob the Biblical Bellington, right? Like, or something like that. You want to come out there with something strong and powerful. And Jake just isn't it. So today is December 27, 2019. There's concern for ongoing out of control family violence occurring in the immediate proximity of all children in this home. Jake becomes violent with Kelly multiple times per week. With all the children in proximity, the fights have involved broken glass and thrown objects. The 7-year-old Long kid has attempted to intervene in fighting on at least one occasion. Injuries to the children are unknown at this time. Jake suffers from alcohol abuse. This report was made in May of 2019 and an investigation was conducted. Kelly denied the allegations during the investigation, but has since reached out to an attorney and local agencies to report that the violence is still ongoing. Police recently responded. So back in May, so 7 months prior, she had denied that this is happening. She denied the allegations, but then now she's reaching out and saying that it's still going on. Because shockingly, people don't like to keep getting hit. That's not usually on their list of things to do. Police recently responded to a disturbance, but nobody was arrested. Kelly may be seeking a family violence shelter at this time, but has not yet found anything. An information report was generated under case number blah, 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 where Jake and Kelly were involved in a disturbance. The address for that incident was, this is the same address where they live. Okay. Lived at the time. I don't know where they live now. They may live somewhere else. It doesn't matter to me. But I blocked that out because it was an address, but it's consistent with the other addresses up above. All right, so here we go. CPS officer, Jody Street. This is the case status, active, and then cleared. So they create the case, they clear it, and then this is an information-only report. So nothing comes of this. Let's read why. Remember, this is a CPS incident report, and the children are not actually alleged to be hit. The children are just alleged to be present while the hitting takes place. And look at this. This is my favorite part of how government agencies and social workers, because CPS are social workers, respond. Remember, like all the time, like the defund the police, get the social worker. Okay, but listen here. MO, mother, is an adult and has the ability to report offenses against her. During the latest disturbance, no charges were filed against mother's boyfriend. No reports that the children have been injured during the disturbances. CPS can provide family services if needed. No further law enforcement action unless requested by CPS. So there you go. Because the report did not come from mom, but rather came from Amber Shemesh. They said, well, you know, mom's a big girl. She can do it herself. That's how it goes. So since this report was, are the children in danger? Now, to me, I don't know that children are necessarily in danger, and courts actually do not decide that domestic abuse of a significant other will impact a parent-child relationship. They don't determine that. So it's a weird thing that we've got here. But we have this report, and they basically said, well, if mom wants to report on it, she can. Look, if mom wants to get beat, she can get beat. That's fine. And so that's where this is. But this is the concern. There's actually a line in here that really concerns me because I've dealt with cases where this happens. The 7-year-old boy attempted to intervene in the fighting on at least one occasion. Turns out, kids typically don't like watching their parents get beat either. So he's allegedly tried to intervene. That puts me at concern because I think I have seen that turn into violence against the kid. And that's the scary thing, because when an adult's blood is up and they're hitting someone, they're hurting someone, and then someone else comes in to intervene, they don't always have the presence of mind to not be abusive to the intervener when it's a kid. And so that concerns me. And I think this is one of the concerns that there is about Jake. So Jake appears to be fairly violent. And Jake has been a concern for a long time. In fact, one of the big concerns that Michael has and has put down in documentation is that even so after this, and then later, when the children were ordered to have no contact with Jake Bellington, Kelly brought the children to Jake Bellington, where he had, I think the J child, I think him, had him in a go-kart, and the go-kart rolled and just shattered the poor kid's wrist. So again, mom violates a court order, brings the kid to someone who they are to have no contact with. It results in injury. Mom doesn't want to tell the dad about the injury, even though she has a duty to, because that would then indicate that she violated the order. Now, ultimately, that was all discovered, and the court did nothing. Court did nothing about this. And that is one of those extremely frustrating elements of this case. But that's the way family court can sometimes go. So we will that is just an incident report. I'm going to be looking more into Jacob Bellington because again, I think I have a hunch that this might be the source of the money. And now I'm curious if this is the source of the money. That would explain a whole lot, wouldn't it? Oh, you tired of getting hit, you want to leave, but you can't, can you? Because your only way to fight for your kids is that paycheck. Maybe. I mean, maybe Kelly's a pile of garbage. I don't know. But it would offer an explanation of something that doesn't make any sense. Kelly Green says, actually, mom is the moneymaker. Kelly, with all of the respect in the world, mom doesn't make anywhere near enough money to pay for what's going on. Not even close. Money's coming from somewhere else. She might make the money, but I have heard some things that Jacob may come from a significant amount of money. So, anyway, So we've got this one. This is this document.